Animation is a wonderful thing. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. You can create magic out of just a few moving drawings.
Presenting the Paul McCartney Music and Animation Collection, produced and hosted by Paul McCartney.
I'm still fascinated by things I was fascinated by as a kid. Humor, romance, passion.
3 enchanting stories brought to life by the original music and animation of Paul McCartney. Tropic Island Hum. About a friendly squirrel and a kind frog who seek sanctuary on an island oasis.
I always had been in love with the sort of hand-drawn animation. Tropic Island Hum, that was probably one of the last hand-drawn pieces made that way.
Tuesday, the story of what happens when frogs on lily pads take to the sky one Tuesday.
I thought it was just such a silly little idea, but a nice little surrealist idea, that I talked to the author of the book about would he mind us making a film of it. It's a bit different from our normal films because it's basically just the fun these frogs all have.
And Rupert and the Frog Song, about a young boy's adventures on a walk one day.
I had read Rupert when I was a kid. There was one of these in particular where there was a choir of frogs. So I just thought, we've got a flute, we've got a violin, we've got a choir. Let me make some music with that in mind. So I took the drawing and tried to imagine how it might sound.
The special edition also features an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of this historic project.
No, leave this to me.
And I ended up on a few of them, like doing all the voices.
And an in-depth interview with Paul McCartney.
Why frogs? I don't know. I suppose we must like frogs.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 144 of Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast. There you go. We are a Paul McCartney talk show mainly dealing with the solo career of the one and only Paul McCartney. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Tom Hunyadi, and you may know me from my other show, Talk More Talk, a solo Beatles videocast. And I am joined by my partner in crime, my backwards traveler, Andy Nichols. Grumpy old rock star, what's going on over there?
I am grumpy because I'm sick.
Oh, no.
Fighting off a cold, but
Yes.
Hanging in there. And glad to be back for a really fun episode, of which I have to give you thanks for, really, because we wouldn't be doing it if you didn't spot this.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, I probably would have got it for you or something and sent it to you. But this week we're going to be talking about the Paul McCartney, the music and animated collection and animation collection. This is featuring his 3 animated shorts, Tuesday, Tropic Island Hum, and Rupert and the Frog Song. So we're going to talk about this DVD release in a few minutes.
Yep.
But first, some exciting news. The book, The McCartney Legacy, that we've known about for a couple years now, featuring Adrian Sinclair and Alan Kozin, who are putting this book together, finally got a release date. It was supposed to come out this year, but it got moved back because of McCartney's lyric books, McCartney's lyric book, which comes out November 2nd. So they postponed it to 2022. And as of right now, we're looking at October 15th of 2022. So really looking forward to this. We're going to have both of them on the show. Hopefully we're going to get some copies, get some fans copies so we can go over it. But it's going to be, yes. But I've been in contact with Adrian Sinclair, and he's really excited about this book coming out, and we really look forward to it, because this is going to be the book. This is going to be the Lennonology of.
This is the Lennonology for Paul. This is the Lennonology version of what we wanted, what we've always wanted for Paul. Right. We've never had such an in-depth work on Paul ever. Some writers obviously have done some great books. Luca Perazzi's done great books on covering the music, of course. But to do a Lewison type, Mattinger type, research on Paul, and so focused is something that
Right.
people like Tom and I have been waiting for
Oh,
decades for. You
yeah.
know, the level of research like that we get at with the fine folks at the magazine, the fanzine, like that in depth level. I mean, is going to be great. And I mean, we have to wait a year. But listen, we've waited for everything else to come through. I mean, it's get back season finally. We were supposed to have it a year ago, and now we have
Right.
it. So it'll come here, and man, and that's the first of two, but maybe
Two, it's
maybe
first of
three.
two, right, that they're contracted for,
Signed for
assigned
two.
to, right, right, which I think will cover the whole 70s decade,
No, because the
by the
first
time
volume goes to
is
73.
69 to 73, right. Not 100% sure when the second volume will end, but as far as I remember, I think they were only scheduled to do the first two volumes. Let's hope that
I,
they continue working on this.
you would hope
Um,
so. I mean, because
yeah,
if the first volume is only going to be until 73,
right.
you know, there's and they're going to cover that much in a 5-year period. I mean, this could be, with that level of research, this could be 5, 6, 7 volumes.
Oh,
If they're going,
absolutely.
I
Listen,
would
I mean,
hate, but I would hate for them to condense
right.
any decade, like just to get it
Oh,
in.
right. No, no, I don't think that would happen. I don't think they could allow themselves to do something like that. I
No,
mean, I mean, Paul is just so prolific with the amount of work that he's done decade per decade. I mean, listen, I mean, what we talked about last week with the Return to Pepperland. I mean, all of those sessions, with all those tracks that didn't get released. I mean, I mean, we're going to see stuff that probably didn't get released in the 70s that they're going to be talking about,
right.
probably in that first volume alone. So myth busting, I'm sure, is going to be another thing that they're going to be talking about. Cozen, when he was on, he talked about one of those live and let die myths about
Hmm.
George presenting the tape and the producer saying, well, that's fine for a demo. you know
So
um,
that's been debunked as a myth. That didn't
yeah, I
happen.
believe so. Yeah, right. So we'll save that for them to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
When they're on.
I'm sure Alan and Adrian, if it was up to them, would
Right.
publish 5 or 6 or 7 volumes and do it justice the right way. But it's
Right.
all dependent upon what the publishers are going to be,
Oh, absolutely.
okay
Right.
for.
Well, so here's the thing. So this first volume has to sell. I mean, the second volume is going to come out nonetheless, but I mean, if this series goes off to a great start, let's say, and the sales are through the roof, then that's just going to give the publishers some encouragement to want them to continue this series. So let's say, I mean, and I don't think this book's going to be cheap either. I mean, I'm already guessing that it's going to be over $100
Oh, I'm
uh,
sure.
for this, especially for the amount of time, like the 5 years,
And the
and
amount of research,
the amount of research and information that's going into this book.
the
But
amount,
the thing
it's
is,
a hundred. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no,
$100 for a book of that in-depth research, in my opinion, is a steal at
yeah.
$100. Knowing what those two guys had to do to research this,
Right.
um,
Now this
transatlantically,
is right. Now this is
between,
yeah. This is just a guess too.
yeah, I guess,
What the please, I don't know how much this book's going to cost, but please, I mean, if we want more of these volumes, please support this book and the work that they're putting into it, because you will not regret this purchase. This is going to be the McCartney book that you want,
this is the
and
one that you're gonna leave as an
right,
heirloom to your
right.
grandchildren if they become McCartney fans,
Exactly.
just like you'll do with the Lewison books
Yeah, and the analogy,
and the
absolutely.
Lenonology. But it's going to
Yeah,
go in the holy grail of those books. And
right,
listen, it's been long overdue, and I'm glad that Adrian and Alan are finally
right,
kind of getting some, having a path there for release, and
right.
it'll be here before you know it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Agent just he talked a little bit about this the other day. We exchanged some texts, and they're going to be working with the editors here now, and so that process is all going. And look, I mean, October next year is going to be here. Before you know it,
Yep.
and And then as the information rolls in, we'll give it to you guys. But like I said, please, go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, type in McCartney Legacy, follow that
Do they have a
page.
website? Do they have a
Yeah.
website already?
Oh yeah. I believe they got a website, and follow the pages, and then as the information comes out, it's just going to get more and more exciting.
It will.
So
It really will.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But other than that, obviously went to the record store again, found some cool stuff. Been looking for those not the Capitol, but those Columbia pressings.
Columbia
Of
pressings.
those, pressings of those 70s McCartney and Wings records. I mean, is that something that you have just about all of, or?
Yep.
Yeah. So I did find the Venus and Mars Columbia
very nice
pressing. Yeah, it's got a couple of the knickknacks in there. I don't know if it came with exactly everything that the original came with, So, but
definitely
it's
did.
got one of
It
the
did come with the
posters in there.
posters. One of the
Yeah.
posters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, people in
So
YouTube land, a little Vandy's collecting has rubbed off on Tom. He used to just buy
exactly.
exclusively new vinyl, but now he's buying
Right.
buying
Now I'm
used
going back,
vinyl.
and I'm going back and finding the EMI, the Capitol, the Columbias,
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a Capitol, very perfect, pristine copy of Wings at the Speed of Sound. This is a Capitol pressing. The great guy, the people at the In Groove in Arizona, where I go at least once a week, and where I took Andy and Ethan while they were here. They clean all the records before they put them out. They make sure that everything's in tip top shape. They know how to price stuff.
Do they just like? I mean, you should probably have a relationship with them. Do they just like put stuff to the side for you? I mean, you go there once a week.
Oh no,
they should.
No,
all
McCartney
stuff, all McCartney stuff that comes in, put to the
But
side.
see, here's the thing:
you're such a regular.
Yeah, but they've already got people. I mean, it's a competition, really. I mean, I'm sure every record store, or most record stores out there, have several collectors out there that has specific stuff that they collect. And they always call, they always keep in touch, but they don't generally put things on hold.
They don't.
What I'm saying, they don't. Right. For no matter how well of a
customer
you are. But you're one of your favorite records here. This is a Capitol London Town, which again is in tip top shape. This has both posters in there. Yeah. So this one is, I think this one was a back to back, both sided poster, and then you got the famous trio of Denny, Paul, and Linda, in there. So yeah, the inserts, everything is all in there, or else I probably wouldn't have bought it.
One of the very few times that Paul actually included lyrics in his albums in the 70s.
Right.
Didn't do it too often. Red Rose Speedway, being Band on the Run, Venus and Mars, and only London Town.
Yeah, you got it on the jacket sleeve there. You got the lyrics on there. So, good stuff.
Oh yeah. Enjoy. Those are just first pressings, right? In good shape.
Yeah, those are first pressings. Yeah,
decently priced, or a little bit?
Decently priced. Yeah, I mean, 10 or under.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. Then earlier this week, we're recording this on, what is it, the 17th today, or the 18th? What is it today?
17th.
The 17th. So we're recording on the 17th, which is a Sunday. Tuesday, we got this bad boy.
Oh yeah,
Get Back
finally came in, man.
Yes, this is the companion for the Get Back docuseries that will be on Disney Plus here in November. So honestly, I haven't really gone through it yet because work's been pretty busy, and then doing research and work for the shows here. So
I'm only into the introduction, about 10 pages or so. It's about it. Get Back seasons, great book, good companion piece.
Day by day, you got a lot of the what was said. I mean, it's so really cool. Really anxious to get reading this, and hopefully that'll be soon. It's roughly the same size as those Lennon books, the Imagine book and the
Plastic Ono Band. Yeah, pretty much. But I think just leafing through most of it is just transcripts from. So
right. Yeah.
So it's not like a full novel.
Right.
It's all transcripts.
And it's good that the transcripts are in there, because when you're listening to the bootleg, okay, the bootlegs of that whole month,
Oh yeah,
that is really low in the mix. You can hear
very low.
some, but you can't hear it, word for word perfect. You know what I mean? So you gotta like jack that volume up, and concentrate on listening with
Plus all
headphones.
the camera clicks and the beeps
Right.
and crap, and
Yes.
it's a very it's a very
Right.
tedious listen to all
Right.
that.
So you can follow along with the transcripts, and that's
Yeah.
going to be exciting too as well. And so that was Tuesday. We got that. Then this past Friday, obviously, then
Hot
we get
dog, baby.
hot off the presses,
Hot off
right?
the presses.
So
Yep.
this is the CD set. You're holding the vinyl set right there, right?
Yep.
So
This is the vinyl set, which I played last night all the way through,
Right.
all the
Excellent.
discs. Haven't opened up the CD yet.
right.
Still holding that off on that, but I'm gonna keep my hype sticker too. I will.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Listen, I don't need any hype. I'm already hyped up enough for these stuff, man.
Listen, hey, the hype. Listen, they put their own hype on this thing. Okay,
Yeah.
a new phase Beatles record.
Exactly.
That was a new phase Beatles. Talk about hype.
Yeah.
You don't
So
need any
anyways,
hype.
let's talk about this for a few minutes, because we really haven't talked much about this release.
No,
But okay, so
not on our show, but go
not
ahead.
on their show, right? But I got it Friday. I got to listen to the remix Saturday, a couple times while I was driving back and forth to work. You know, it's fine. I mean, nothing too earth shattering, or nothing really to write home to mom about. But there's some good stuff on there. A few things that I've noticed off the bat. Across the universe, I think Lennon's vocals are kind of elevated a little bit, and even the orchestration, I think, a little bit towards the
Up.
end, or up a little bit. The bass is more. Is a little more powerful there, I think, on Dig a Pony to my ears. Now, we were talking about this yesterday about the Long and Winding Road, and I said I was kind of surprised that the orchestration was up a little bit, but you're fine with that. I wasn't complaining about it. I was just kind of surprised that's
You
the
thought it would have
direction
been.
they
You
went.
thought it would have been a little bit more lowered.
I thought it would have just a little bit lowered, and then bring up Paul's vocals just a little bit and concentrate more on that vocal, because I think that's one of his best vocals of all time on that track. But
For sure. But
yeah.
as you looked in the liner notes I had sent you in that text,
Right.
Giles knew that listen, it was not really. He couldn't just totally just whitewash it and take it out without. He's got to give some respect to Spector's original production, because that's the version that did go to #1 with the strings.
Exactly.
So, and as our friend Ken Michaels always points out, that's the hit that was a Beatles' last #1 hit, Long and Winding Road. And with the strings and all, so to totally whitewash it out, Giles knew that he couldn't just totally do that. So I'm pleased with it so far. We just talked about this before we went on the air. How much sonically could you improve records like Let It Be and Abbey Road? You really can't too much. Abbey Road is from 2019. The remix. I mean, they're perfect records as they are. So the sweetening that was done here on these last two records, I don't think is massively. It wasn't like listening to Pepper or even the White Album.
Right. Yeah.
No,
agreed.
Now, did you have the vinyl and the CD, or you just have the CD?
No, I just went with the CD, the CDs. With these, since these remixes have been coming out with the start of Sgt. Pepper, I've only been getting the CD set.
No vinyls.
No, because I'm just happy with the stereo with the 2009s mixes.
Yeah,
I
would have.
I'm perfectly
sworn you would have been
right.
lined up to get the vinyl Beatle ones, but you're okay with the CDs?
No, I'm okay just with the CDs on that. I don't need. I mean, my shelves are already full enough, and I'm running out of room, Andy.
Yes, I know. I almost couldn't get into that room.
Yeah. But another one was two of us. Ringo's bass drum, was a bit louder, a little more powerful in that. So, all in all, I mean, again, if you didn't like the remixes, you still have the original to go with.
The 2009's fine. As far as the supplemental material, on the Get Back sessions and then the rehearsals and Apple Jams, they're okay. There's nothing earth shattering in there. I was like, wow, this is great. I mean, hearing John do "Give Me Some Truth," which we heard but cleaned
Right.
up, was cool. The "Oh Darling" jam, some of the other stuff, the chatter, it's
Mm-hmm.
great. I think let's see, hearing Paul do "Please Please Me" on the piano, that was pretty funny. Having a
Right.
little laugh at that, hearing that stuff. But the speech stuff, I mean, really though, but the crown jewel and the whole set for me is the Glenn
Yeah.
Johns mix, which is just absolutely tremendous.
Gotcha.
And it's listen, it's an enjoyable. There's a lot more content in this box than the Abbey Road box. The
Right.
Abbey Road, the well was kind of dry there for the most part. It was out what was out. It wasn't a box that was going to be loaded with a bunch of supplemental stuff on
Right.
it.
Yeah. Good point. Yep. Yep.
This one has a ton of stuff in here, and hearing Billy Preston talk and stuff like that. So, and
Yeah.
of course that EP, which I guess some people are all fired up about, but I don't really know why it was included, but
It really is a waste of space on a CD, in my opinion. But with all that extra room that you have on there available, why couldn't we get Old Brown Shoe on there as well? If anybody's been getting the shaft, I think it's been George. Lately, with these sets. I mean, we didn't get Only a Northern Song on the Sergeant Pepper. You know what I mean?
no.
So, and then plus with these the bonus discs, I mean, you're really only getting one we're getting another All Things Must Pass rehearsal, which I'm completely fine with. But all those other songs that all that ended up on All Things Must Pass, where are those?
Where are
You know,
those?
you know.
Where are those? Yeah.
So but you got an early rehearsal of something, so that's cool. Like you said, to Give Me Some Truth, is going to be cool. But when you know what was actually recorded and you get this set, it's a little underwhelming. You know what I mean? It's kind of disappointing when you think about all the other stuff that
Oh
was
yeah.
recorded, during that whole month. Now don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we have this. And I'm sure a lot of the stuff that is not on here, we're gonna hear and see, and the Get Back docu series
Yep.
on Disney Plus. But again, it would be nice to have audio of that stuff.
Yeah, and no rooftop concert audio, which is tough, But I will say it's nice. Somebody else mentioned, I think somewhere on a comment they saw, it's just so cool to finally have the realized original
Right.
Get Back
Glenn yeah.
Glenn Johns issued, mimicking their first album, of course, please,
Right.
but like actually officially issued in an LP, not a bootleg. I mean,
Right.
that's really cool to have it on vinyl now like this.
See, and that's really cool. See, now I would almost be tempted to buy the Let It Be vinyl just to have that on vinyl. You know
That's what I'm
I
saying. I think
Yeah.
that's why on vinyl it's worth it to
Yeah.
have this,
Right.
because you're getting this fully realized. It's like just bookending their careers,
Right.
which really this is how it should have been. Really.
Oh, absolutely. Agreed 110%. Now,
Now,
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
The one thing I'm super excited about that they did here with the CD packaging, where the All Things Must Pass deluxe box set that we got, where they failed was in the kangaroo pouches. They put the CDs in actual little slip cases. Whereas,
Oh, okay. So I didn't open it.
know,
So in other words,
Yeah.
and they just put them. So they're actually you get
Yes.
slipcase covers.
slipcase cover, and then it goes into the jacket pouch.
Too many of
And
these new box sets, the Lennon stuff, the Lennon
Right.
ones, that you get the little folding trifold thing, and the CD is
Right.
just thrown in there, and
Right.
you can't protect it. I think that
Exactly.
that stinks. But I'm glad I didn't have an open
Yeah.
mind yet. But
Right.
that's
And then
so
see
everyone has.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. See, the CD does have the Get Back cover, just like you got on the vinyl. So,
Right. The only thing my only point of reference for the Glenn John stuff for the last 20 years was a bootleg that I got probably 20 years ago or more.
Okay.
And it was mimicked the same thing. It was just this here on Vigitone. Get Back, the Glenn Johns final compilation.
Okay.
Vigitone bootleg with a booklet and everything, like very well done, very well put together and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
But the quality wasn't as good. Now hearing it now officially released,
Right.
it's mind
Oh,
blowing.
I'm sure it blows away. Yeah.
But this if before this release, if you wanted to hear the Glenn Johns mix, this was the best way to get it. Was on the Vigitone bootleg from
Okay.
over 20 years ago,
Gotcha.
which I'm sure people out there have probably had or heard of.
I
But
would hope so.
yeah, it's it's here, man. We got the movie that drops next month on Disney
Right.
Plus. Did you sign up yet or no?
November, really early November, I will be absolutely,
Mhm.
because I would like a little time to watch the Mandalorian
Yeah.
before we get to the Beatles stuff. But yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it now, getting Disney Plus.
We should have a
Did
watch
you have
party.
it? Do
I
you have?
I do.
Okay.
I
You know
already
how much
have.
it costs a month?
It's bundled in with my Hulu plan, so I'm not sure.
Ah, okay.
Individually, I think it's like $12 or $14 a month, something like
Right.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm not worried about that so much.
but
But
it's worth it. I mean, such as being a Star Wars fan like yourself,
right.
it's a great package. I know a lot of people out there in the Beatles community didn't have it, and they're like, "Oh, I got to get Disney Plus just to watch this film. Why can't they just really?" It's There's enough content on Disney Plus, I think, to warrant. I mean, if you're gonna just get it, watch the film, and then drop the
Right.
subscription, fine. But it's a good service. It
Well,
really
you
is.
know what? There's a good chance that a lot of the fans too could be Marvel fans. They could be
Yeah,
DC fans. They could.
all that's on
I mean,
there.
not. I'm sorry, not DC, but they
Marvel,
could be Marvel fans. They could be Disney fans. So all the classic Disney stuff
everything,
is on there.
everything is on there. Which I know. I mean, you're like you're a bigger movie buff guy than most, so I think
Right.
you'll love it for that.
Yeah. So you get all the
Um,
Disney films. You get all the Marvel films. You get all the Star Wars films. Right.
yeah.
So that all that's on there. So there's something for everyone. To enjoy on that app. So I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to it, and especially if this
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi series is true and is being worked on, then I'm going to be even more
Oh,
excited.
that with Ewan
For it.
McGregor, that's going to be
With you and
incredible.
McGregor reprising as the role. So yeah, I would be really excited for that as well. So,
Absolutely. I mean, this is a little bit of a split episode here. I mean, we're going to talk about this animation thing in a minute, but
yeah.
there's just been so much to catch up on with the release of the Get
Mm,
Back stuff and the film and everything. And your cousin David said it to us in a text, and I totally agree with him. That
mm.
the fever for me, I agree with him. With when that documentary drops, is going to be like the anthology all over again,
Oh, absolutely.
all over again.
Nights,
Oh,
three
3 nights,
nights, night.
Thanksgiving. Oh my
Yeah,
God, like taking me back. I was in high school, and
right,
I recorded the first episode with Free as a Bird. And again, I didn't have the bootleg, so I didn't even know that song. I taped it.
mm,
I stayed up all night and rewatched it until I didn't even go to sleep. I didn't even go to sleep. I stayed up all night rewatching Free as a Bird on VHS. So
wow.
I feel that with this film dropping in a next month,
Mm,
it's going to be great. I mean, lots of people, even casual fans and friends that I've talked to, like who have Disney Plus, they're like, "Oh, Andy,
right,
you're big." Like this big, I'm like, so everybody's going to be watching this thing, not just Beatle
right.
people. Even this is going to be a major event. And listen, do we wish it was in movies? Yeah, we do. But it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. The trailer dropped, and then that
Oh,
was. If you
that
weren't
trailer!
excited about it,
Oh,
then you watch this trailer, and if you're still not excited, then you're not
I
a fan. You're not a fan.
it was incredible. It was incredible. I mean, you watch that trailer, and it's like
Mm,
they're building up like the suspense, and you know
right.
how it ends. But it's like the way that it was. The trailer is awesome. You hear that little clip. I think it's either George or Paul going. I couldn't tell if it was George or Paul who said, "Well, how many songs have we written so far that are good?"
George.
It's George, right? And then it
Yeah,
cuts right
yeah.
to John going, "None."
None.
That is so awesome. Like
And
that
so John.
none.
Right.
That's George that said that though, right?
Right. I believe it was George.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many have we written so far that are good?
Yeah. Yeah.
John, none.
None.
Oh man. So excuse me.
Yeah. But it looks like it's going to go in chronological order. There's not going to be any skipping from the third day of January to the 25th, let's say. It looks like it's all going in order.
Yeah.
Day by day, which we're going to have the companion book to go
To
along
go
with
with it.
that. So yeah, absolutely. So it's very exciting. I only watched the trailer once because I don't want to get burnt out on it. you know and I just want it to be here. I want this
Right.
January, I mean not January, November 25th to be here, and it's not here yet, but just gotta calm down, I guess.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a bit of it's the thing. It's the day after Thanksgiving, Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday, Sunday. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, exactly. The record store day is going to be the day after. I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to partake on this one. There's really not too much I'm looking forward to. There is the one release, the first Crosby and Nash record that was released back in I think '73. I want to say that's going to be one of the records on that day that if I did go, I would pick up. But I do need to go back and look at the list again. But other than that, I mean, I've been spinning lines so many times these last couple
You
years.
certainly have.
I think missing one is not going to be the end of the
No,
world. But
yeah,
um,
it won't kill you.
yeah, anyways, but yeah, so that's it right now. I mean, so we've got stuff to keep us busy here
Yeah.
for the next couple weeks. We got the McCartney lyrics book coming out in November 2nd, so you can bet that we'll be doing a show on that not long after its release. But Andy, yeah, so I remember talking to you at some point, maybe last year or something like that, talking about the music and animation DVD set. You said that this was still one of the few things in your collection that you still hadn't had or
No.
gotten yet. So, but then when you were out here, we saw it at one of the Zia stores, and I was like,
Mm-mm.
"Oh, perfect."
Mm-mm.
Was it Zia or no?
Mm-mm.
No.
It was that small one.
Oh, the record room. The
Yes.
record room. Yeah, yeah, that's where it was. But I have seen this at the Zia's as well.
Of course.
Matter of fact, I think that's where I got my copy was at a Zia,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years ago. So, but anyways, so I mean, but you knew about this. You knew about these shows, all
Oh,
right?
I knew about it. I knew it just had just slipped through my radar, picking it up on DVD. In fact, at the same time, and I think you picked this up a few months ago, they there was a 7-inch single, yellow on yellow vinyl,
Right. Tropic Island Hum.
with Tropic Island Hum and We All Stand Together on
Right.
that, and I got that right around when that was released simultaneously as this DVD.
Right. Hmm.
And I bought that then. And of course, I had seen individually We All Stand Together, the film, of course, which you
Right.
kind of got on VHS not too long. That was a cool
Well,
vibe as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So this is at the same place,
Yeah.
the record room. This is the VHS copy. Now, this is just the Rupert and the Frog song with Seaside Woman and Oriental Nightfish
Right.
on there.
Now, oh, so that was on there as well, too. See,
Yeah, yeah,
interesting. Now, it was shown, and this must have been so cool back in '84. If you went to
right,
go to see Broad Street, they showed Rupert
right,
before the movie, which is
right.
incredible.
And from my research, people loved it. They went crazy for Rupert the Frog song. Now, too bad the second feature wasn't as good as the first, maybe, or to some people's mind. So this VHS came out in '85.
Right.
So yeah, so the other two wouldn't have been done yet. So understandably so that the Seaside Woman and Oriental Nightfish is on there. I don't know how parents took to a naked woman running around, animated naked woman running around
Yeah.
in this. But if you have any memories of that, please let us know in the comments. But yeah, I mean, this does make me want to buy a VHS player and play it and make sure that it works properly.
Even though we got that wonderful 4K drop
See,
last
yeah,
year.
last year now to coincide with the 100th anniversary of Rupert. Yeah, so there you go. There's the reissue. I think we
Yeah.
both have the original as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah,
Right there.
yeah, the crazy shaped 45, which you're gonna bring it out, right? And show
Yeah,
it.
sure. Why not? Yeah, always well done.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things ever, really, that he's
Right.
ever issued.
Hmm.
But so well done. I mean, really, kind of just like let's just talk about Paul McCartney and the animation stuff aspect
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah, big fan for a long time.
Big. I mean, it's a part of his life that I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to, really. And as we're going to talk about it with this DVD, I mean, even going back to, Bruce McMouse, which we got to see finally in
Finally,
2018,
yeah.
finally, his love of animation. And again, I didn't watch this until just the other day, just to get ready for the show. So, I mean, it was really, it's a nice talent. It's just a nice side of him that you don't really read about or hear about too often, go and all the work that goes into it, and the team that
Right.
he assembles, and working with Geoff Dunbar and all that other and all that great stuff. That's a long history there with Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, like a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of us, including myself, that are still fascinated by animation. I mean, look at when we grew up like Saturday morning
That
cartoons,
was
and
it, man.
that was after school cartoons. That's where I would watch He-Man, and other things as well.
Remember that? Remember that?
So
Remember that jingle on ABC? After these messages, we'll be right back.
right back.
Remember that Saturday morning cartoons, man? It was
Saturday
the
morning
best.
cartoons. Oh man, all of that stuff. Just loved it. So, and
Now
I
these,
still
yeah, go
go ahead.
ahead. I
No,
was
and
like,
then
go ahead. You.
no, and I was just saying it still continues today because in the '90s there's that big breakthrough with the Japanese animation films.
Oh yeah.
Those really became popular and exploded, and still pretty popular to this day. Some of that I have some of that stuff over here on Blu-ray as well. So yeah, I mean, so animation is still a pretty big part of my life too. So,
Not nice. It's not so much mine anymore. Growing up, it was, but to go back and look at these are very three distinctly British looking
mm,
films. Naturally, I
right,
mean, you
right.
don't watch these and go, "Oh, this is Saturday morning American cartoon." This is very
Mm,
these are a little different, a little artsy, different kind of films. Rupert, of course, the most universal one I think that most
mm,
people know now.
right,
um, which again it goes back to his that song goes back to 1980. That was one of the
right.
that's Paul and George Martin getting back together, just to
The
see how it was going to work.
the first thing they worked on when they agreed to work together again in 1980. So yeah,
Was that
yeah,
song, and here it is
yeah.
fully realized as a short 14-15 minute a feature in a
Hmm.
cartoon. And I love how open he is about about doing the voices for a lot of these
Hmm.
things. He's very
Right,
open, and you watch the behind the scenes stuff on this disc,
right,
and him and Linda, provide the
right,
voices nearly for all the characters here in whatever film you're watching.
right. Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's again, we talked about Paul doing even as early as the Ram sessions, working on music for Rupert. Now, if now people might not know, now Paul bought the rights for the Rupert the Bear the day after the Beatles split. So
Right.
April 11th, 1970, that's when he bought the rights to do a film. So
And
he's been
and
working on this for a long time.
for a long time. And again, there's an entire Wings bootleg out there
Right.
of music that they were going to do for a Rupert film in 1979.
Correct. So even with the last incarnation of Wings, they were working on music for that, and maybe we can talk about a little bit about that with Juber next time we have him on, because we're scheduled to be talking to him again soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's been an ongoing thing that finally saw fruition. Uh, Come '84 with this release. Now, some people might not know. Here, we'll talk about a little Rupert Bear himself, created by Mary Turtle. First appearance in the Daily Express on November 8th, 1920. Like I said, Paul bought the rights to Rupert from the Express the day after the Beatles broke up, and so again, like we said, there's a history there. A lot of stuff been written. When the Wind Is Blowing, I think
Hmm.
was consideration for an early film. You got Little Lamb Dragonfly, Little Lamb Dragonfly, which was considered, I think, Sometimes Sunshine as well. So there's a lot of tracks out there. And obviously we all stand together as well. So
Yeah.
out there.
It's a
So
it's a it's a kids film. It's meant for
right,
it's a kids film. It's what it is.
right. The song itself was number 3 in the UK, not released here. So we didn't get to listen to that. I don't
No,
know. I mean,
pretty.
at that time, I don't know if it would have done anywhere near as well here as it
It
did.
wouldn't have done it wouldn't
No.
have done well here. But it won the coveted Ivor Novello Award.
That's true. The film also won the
BAFTA.
BAFTA, the British Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film. So, a lot of accolades, a lot of popularity with this. It's got a long history, like I said, starting from 1920 in the DVD. Now, before the film starts, you see Paul. It looks like he's in an attic. He's
Yep.
opening the chest, and then he sees all this Rupert stuff. Pulls out a book and
12
opens
Ardwick
it.
12 Ardwick
Yeah,
Road for the win.
right.
Then speak.
And speak.
For all you
Yes, that's
scousers
right.
out there.
And then the film begins. Now, now this DVD, it doesn't go in order with with what came out first. So it ends with Rupert.
Right.
It opens now with Tropic Island
Tropic
Hum.
Island Hum, which
Right. Go ahead.
um no, I was gonna say, I don't know if you have it in your notes, but that's a
Yeah.
Tropic Island Hum is obviously the timeline for that is pretty interesting, okay? Because we knew about it. It was being worked on in the 90s. We saw it.
Right.
If you watched the In the World Tonight documentary, this
Hmm.
was something Paul and Linda, prior to her passing, were very, very, very involved with.
Right.
And I remember watching that thinking, oh, this is a pretty cool anime. He's going back to doing animated thing. And that was, okay. Hadn't done that since Rupert. So I remember being really amped to see what that could become and then obviously, sadly, Linda passed away a year later and this project was shelved really until this film came out as a part of this collection
Mhm.
and the song coming out. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying with the song itself released was recorded in November of '95. It was a little bit of a hit, going to 21 in the UK. The film itself, I think, was also nominated for a BAFTA as well. And that's the cool thing that you see about this is not only was Paul and Linda together. I mean, they were pretty much together and worked on just about everything together, not just the music. It was also these animation shorts
Yep.
as well. So obviously both had a love and appreciation for that. So the film was, in my research said it was released in '97. Credits written by Paul and Linda, and they were also executive producers.
Yep.
Uh, Vocals by
When
Paul and Marion Montgomery. But go ahead.
when
What?
was it? Where was it released though in '97? VHS? No, I saw
See,
it.
it probably made the festival circuit.
I
Okay,
don't recall
because
being able to
that's
go buy this
no,
anywhere.
no, you wouldn't have been able to because it was probably just like I said in the festivals. You have to at least release it theatrically some way in order for it to be eligible to get nominated for any award.
Okay.
So it would have been probably Cannes or some kind of film festival. Okay.
Hmm.
Voices by Paul and Linda, score by George Martin, engineering by Jeff Emmerich. So, the usual crowd was there helping Paul. Produced and directed by Geoff Dunbar. And like I said, this one this was I believe the second of the trilogy, if you will, this
Hmm.
of these three here. So
Yeah.
you start off, it starts off pretty dramatic and almost kind of like in a black and white way. It's almost like dusk. It's kind of dark. You see two men chasing after a squirrel. They're hunting, obviously. There is a message in this film.
Oh, of course.
Obviously, some people might be put off by that message, and that's fine. Um, you know, as a vegetarian myself, I'm not one of those people that tells other people, no, you can't hunt. I mean,
Um,
whatever, you can't do that. Anyways,
But
but
if you're a follower of Paul McCartney at all, you should
right.
not be surprised by the message in this film.
Exactly. Good point. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, then you see another character in a kind of like a balloon up in the air,
Mm.
and then it's a rescue. Two friends meet up. So I'm not going to get crazy into the descriptions because if you're watching, there's a good chance this. But if you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to give too much away because I want you to go and find this. You can probably, like I said, you can find it on eBay or a used record store or whatnot.
Or
And
you can buy it. We can rent it on YouTube. I saw it. You can for like $3, you can rent it and watch it.
okay, the whole thing.
Hmm.
Oh, excellent. Good. Very good. So there's a frog, there's a squirrel. The two, they're sailing in the air. They
Frogs,
come.
man, frogs
Yeah,
all over the
frogs.
place.
It's nothing but frogs. All three of
Oh my
this.
God, frog crazy.
They come to an island and they meet bison, which is like a
Hmm.
kind of like humanoid bull, bison. And then the song ensues, and then there's a happy ending. The squirrel meets squirrel, and then the rest is history. So, but the animation is nice. I mean, what did you think about this watching it for the first time?
For the first time, again, having seen parts of it, but I liked
Yeah.
it, and I took more out of the bonus features,
Mhm.
seeing, and because as somebody who's in production, I like seeing
Right.
that aspect of it.
Right.
And Paul really talking about how this film was one of the first ones, kind of where the digital age was starting to kind of come into things a little bit, right? So
Right. Yeah.
computer animation was a lot. I mean, obviously, Rupert and everything before that was all by hand. Even Bruce
Right.
McMouse, all by hand. Tropic Island Hum was done kind of with a little bit of a hybrid, done old school drawing, but also
Right.
digitally on the computer. And he
Mm.
wanted that because he wanted to have that kind of old nostalgia look
Right.
for the
Right.
film, which he talks about. So I enjoyed it. I think as in terms of a plot, well, we'll get to Tuesday, but
Right.
I think it's good. I mean, I like
Yeah.
that Linda's in it because she told Geoff Dunbar, there's no females in this
Female
anyway.
there, right?
You got to get a female in there. So they
Right.
created the Wilhelmina character.
Yeah, I do like that special feature in when where you see Paul and Linda on the beach. They're
That's
talking,
cool.
and then
Yeah,
all of a
and then
sudden they're
they're
animated.
animated.
Right,
That was
right,
cool. I never saw that
right.
before. That was really cool.
Yeah, so obviously, they did that before her passing, and she looked
Had to
like she
be.
was. They looked like
She
she was looked like well. She was well. She was smiling and happy. So that was really exciting to see as well.
it's
So
probably, I don't know the timeline, but this or Flaming Pie, but it has to be one of the last things that she did.
mm,
Her hair was shorter, so she
right,
definitely it was definitely during that time. So
right.
it's just of course I think I don't know if it was this film when the credits ended or was it the whole thing where it said that this is dedicated to the memory of Linda. I think it was this.
No, no, it's the next one.
It is the next one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay, right,
right,
okay. I did see that
yeah,
somewhere in the film,
right,
but yeah,
yeah,
Paul, everything they did, again, kind of in a John and Yoko kind of way.
yeah.
They did it
They
together.
did together, absolutely. Yeah. So this one is enjoyable. It's kind of shades of Rupert and the Frog song.
Yeah,
Whereas
bouncy little tune.
all yeah, bouncy little tune. All everybody's together having a great time singing, doing with this
We are simple
performance.
people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's the way that you bunga the bunga. It's the way
Boom,
that you
boom.
bake the cake.
Yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny when even on the World Tonight documentary, you see him
Mm,
singing that walking down the stairs
right.
when he's leaving, working on it. So I'm like, oh, that could be a funny little tune.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And Paul does all the voices except for the one that
Yep.
that Linda does, and he even does during the making of. He actually is there. He's filming him doing a couple seconds of of some of the voices. The squirrel, frog, and the bison. So,
Mm. And
pretty
it's so
cool.
it's so obviously him too.
Right.
When
Oh,
you listen when you listen to him do these voices, the
right,
deep one,
right,
or like the
yeah,
or like the or the little
yeah,
squirrel one, like you like
right.
that's Paul. Like
It's Paul, right.
it
Right.
is.
One of my favorite parts though is the pelican, because obviously he's dressed up as a sailor and his
Right.
name is Sam. So
Yeah.
Sailor Sam,
Taylor Sam,
So
of
yeah,
course.
so a little hint back to Band on the Run there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so there's those little
Little
bits and
little
pieces.
tidbits, little hints,
Yeah,
little
yeah, the
little Easter
landscape,
eggs.
right? The landscape looks great. The colors are really pop out. So I wouldn't be surprised though if this one gets some kind of restoration here for an anniversary.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got the restored Rupert and the Frog song last year,
Last
which
year,
looked
which is
beautiful.
incredible.
So hopefully this Tropic Island Hum gets the same treatment.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on to the next one, which we got is a short film called Tuesday, which Tuesday, yeah, which
Yeah,
based on the book
based on a book.
Tuesday
Yep.
by David Weisner, which is I think I'm not going to say if he's British or U.S. I don't know, but
American, I believe.
American, right? Because the book did win a few awards, including an American one.
Hmm.
Music was composed by Paul. He was also an executive producer. Voices were from McCartney, and then guest appearance by
Well,
Dustin Hoffman.
that was, and again, I threw this in. I didn't even look at the liner notes or on this.
Right,
I mean, it says he's on there. So I'm watching
right.
this last night, and I'm all of a sudden I hear this voice, and I'm like, that sounds like Dustin Hoffman.
Yes.
So then I wait for the credits, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, God damn it, I knew that. I knew he was in
Right.
there.
Yeah,
So, of
right.
course, Paul's association with Dustin Hoffman goes back
It goes
to
back to back
Picasso's
to
last words.
last
So,
words. Absolutely, yes.
um,
On the back of the DVD here says, "When Paul asked me to narrate Tuesday, I was delighted, as it was one of my favorite illustrated storybooks as well." So,
yeah,
he was a fan of the book.
that
So,
was cool. And I don't know, and that you hear in the bonus features of the Tuesday document of that you hear or I should say, sorry, you see Paul and Geoff Dunbar listening to the playback of Dustin
right,
Hoffman's recording. I don't know if he was with them or he just did it and sent it over. He probably just did
right.
a voiceover and
Well,
sent it over.
it says that this it was all the voice work was recorded at Hog Hill. I don't know if Dustin actually came out to Hog Hill to record, maybe.
To
But
do what? To do two lines? I mean,
exactly, that's the thing. I mean, he was, only there's what, the 4 lines maybe in the
yeah.
whole story. So, which I think is one of the charms about it.
Interesting,
Myself.
interesting film this Tuesday.
Yes. This might be my favorite of the three, only because the animation and the sound effects are just out of sight on this one. Especially like the underwater stuff. I mean, it feels like you're underwater. The sound effect, it feels like it sounds like you're actually in a field by a stream. The crickets, the frogs. I mean, it's perfect. Sound effects are just out of this world. Perfect on this. So story goes, it's Tuesday at dusk.
Mhm.
Frogs on their lily pads. They're croaking. They seem like they're in anticipation of something to happen. And then, a couple seconds in, all of a sudden, one frog starts being lifted up on his lily pad. Next thing you know, all the frogs are being lifted up, and now they're flying. And
Da,
they're
da, da, da,
yeah,
da.
yeah. It's surprising. You should have used that.
He should have.
Yeah. Anyways, they fly towards a town. They kind of like pass by as a there's a person eating a sandwich, and then they fly into a older couple's home. And it's funny because one of the frogs has the remote, and then he changes the channel with his tongue.
Right.
That's what
And
I
then
thought was
you hear the
pretty
opening sounds of
opens
the
of
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy, right? And then then he changes the channel again, and then we got David Letterman. So
So there was
you know
there was definitely much more of a kind of an American vibe with this one.
Right, exactly, exactly. So, but again, this one's great. So then, they leave the house, then they're flying. They get into a little scuffle with the dog, and then as dawn starts, then you just see them all starting to fall. I mean, because obviously, whatever this was that was making this happen was only from dusk till dawn.
Right.
You know,
And the cops
and then
come.
cops come, to see all the lily pads on the ground, on the road, in people's lawn. Dustin Hoffman then makes his vocal
Mhm.
appearance. Funny last scene then, kind of like homage to maybe Animals with the pig. you know?
Yes.
Then instead of frogs in the air
Flying. Pigs are
flying, you see
flying.
pigs are flying.
I'm watching that. I'm hearing like pig on a
Right,
wing in my head
right, yeah,
from Floyd, which
yeah,
is cool.
right.
Yeah, that's so. I think I agree with you, partner. I think I like this film best. I mean, listen, Rupert. I can't count Rupert because Rupert's like a classic. But
Right.
for having not seen this before at all until watching this on the
Right.
DVD just yesterday, I think I like Tuesday the best.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really enjoyable. It was nominated for a British Academy Award as well. I think this was released around 2002. Now, this is the one, if you watch the
2000,
credits,
2000 it
2000,
said.
yeah, something like that. Blah blah blah. I think that this is the one. If you watch the credits, you will see dedicated to the memory of Linda.
Right.
So
Again, a little bit
yeah,
behind the scenes on this. I liked you mentioned the scene about where a guy's sitting eating a sandwich, which actually
right,
was that was actually
Paul.
based on Paul.
Paul,
And
right.
you see that in the bonus features when you watch
Right.
the behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff.
they filmed the turtle moving that Paul had,
Yeah.
so to use, for inspiration to see how, so they can animate it correctly. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the techniques that are in, your normal animated films were also applied to this one as well. So, so right on for Paul, I guess, right on for Paul to, acknowledging this book, because this actually is making me want to buy the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so
What
yes, that's Tuesday. Yeah.
So, and then again, the bonus features. There's a little bit of there's a 10-minute documentary talking about Paul and his love of animation and how what he's worked on. He kind of goes over the history of working with Geoff Dunbar, going back to Rupert, and then Tropic Island Hum, and then of course Tuesday.
Right.
And he also hints at another animated project that they were working on,
Right.
but we haven't seen the light of day since that time.
And was that High in the Clouds? Maybe.
I don't know. He doesn't. He doesn't mention the topic. He just said we're working on a longer feature.
Right.
And
which is, I think, is going to turn out to be High in the Clouds, which is what we've been waiting for. We talked about this not too long ago, and Netflix picked it up.
Yep.
So it's probably going to be another year or two before we see anything about this. We do know that Paul recorded a song with Lady Gaga.
Yep.
So we're assuming now that is going to be for this film. I do think it was said that that song was going to be
for High in the Clouds, and we're talking this has got to be over now 2 years. This is like over 2 years ago now, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's kind of on the back
I think
burner.
this was even during the Egypt Station sessions.
Even longer.
Right.
Wow.
It is a book I have on my Amazon wish list. I still need to pick the book up. Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
But I need to get that to prepare for watching the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. But yeah, Tuesday, I think by far for me, I think it's the shortest of the three, but it's also, I think, the most visually enjoyable.
Yes.
Again, none of these stories are, earth shattering or anything,
No.
but for this was actually really fun to watch, and
it's the only one of the three that actually has any human element into it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is interesting. I mean, they're all three. If you're watching this purely as a McCartney fan, you're watching this just to see, okay, where is he at creatively? Why? Everything that we look for. These aren't films that set the world. These aren't. We're not going to revisit this a lot, but it's another aspect of his career that really, I think, should be looked at, and I'm glad that we looked at it, because it's something that he spent a lot of time doing. Again,
absolutely,
Bruce McMouse, these films, other things,
High in
the Clouds now. So it's an aspect of his career that he's very proud of. And what I think summing it all up best, I thought about this morning, was that he's really just a kid at heart. He's a kid at heart, and even now at almost 80 years old, and I think that's why we've gotten so much out of him, because he's retained that childlike quality in everything that he does, as a musician, as a father, as somebody who's outspoken for rights and stuff. I think he's just a kid at heart, and you see those themes in these films. Family, the animal, his concerns for animal rights and things like that. They're all present in these films.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the DVD concludes with the Rupert and the Frog song. Now, this one I enjoy as well. I kind of liked a little bit. I mean, obviously, it's just a short little story up into the big number, but at least you get you get the family aspect of it. You get the mom and dad for a second, and then the friends, and then he's off on his adventure. Which, hey, listen, I mean, as a kid, I mean, that was nothing better than going off and exploring. Absolutely. So that was really cool. There's a couple scenes that I really like too. While he's out and about, there's a tree. And it looks like it's all leaves on there, but then you find out that later that it's just birds as they fly away.
Yes.
That was really, really visually stunning. You get a couple little enemies with the owl
The
and the
owl.
yeah, exactly. So those are pretty cool. And then you get into the cave, then you get the mom or the dad and son frog, and the son being annoying and the dog, I mean, the dad, is kind of scolding him a little bit, but shush, this only happens like every couple hundred years or something like that, so that's fine. Then when you actually get into the actual song, it's just cool to see imagery, like we talked about with Broad Street. It's kind of like a video. Obviously it's a video to the song, and it's just really
Yes.
cool to see. I mean, if I'm going to listen to We All Stand Together, I want to watch the video as well. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I just don't want to listen to the song. I really just
Want to watch the
appreciate
video?
the
Yeah.
two. The two together are perfect. It's a great blend of music and animation.
It really is. And we kind of it's Rupert and the Frog song. It's not just a
Right.
Rupert. That's why everyone kind of
Rupert.
gets tired
Right.
when you actually
Right.
when you see Rupert right on this stuff, and when you actually watch the film, you realize, oh, he's just watching a chorus of frogs singing the song.
Right.
Right. Rupert's not
Right.
singing the song.
Exactly. You get a little bit of action there at the end there with the owl swooping down.
Yep.
And then the next thing you know, Rupert's mom's calling him to come home, and
He goes
then we
home.
have and then we have the end of the story. But I would love to see him revisit and do another Rupert short
Love it.
myself.
And
I really enjoyed this one too.
it's a great melody, and if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, I think I even the humming version than the actual song.
Hmm.
I do.
Okay.
I think it's great. I think it's a great way to end the film. I mean, the
Mm,
song's great. The original song is great, fantastic. But that humming
right.
version, I think, is just great. The
Yeah.
children's choir on it, and it sets the mood perfectly when you watch the
Right.
film when it closes it too. And he comes
Right.
back, and he's telling his mom all about where he went and
Right.
how
You're
he's a
not gonna believe
frog.
this.
You're not going to
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
this, and you
Right.
hear the strings of that humming version come in
Right.
as the credits roll, which just ends the
Right.
film perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you have this, if you haven't watched in a while, throw it back in, give it another view. Let us know in the comments what you think or what your thoughts are on the DVD as a physical media. Let us know what your thoughts are, and I enjoy every time that I watch it. I mean, I'll be honest, I hadn't watched it in a while, so I was really looking forward into review or getting back and watching it and reevaluating it, and it's just as enjoyable now as it was then. So
Yeah, and this was a
let us know.
first timer for
Yeah,
me. So, but had been on that list of things to pick up, but just hadn't. And
right.
thanks to Tom, I
Yeah.
did. And again, not something I'm going to watch every day, but
Well, of
you know,
course, right. Yeah,
no, but it's there. It's part of the canon. It's McCartney, and that's why we cover it. And that's why we
yeah.
take a look at topics that don't really kind of get looked at a whole lot. And the
There you go.
animation aspect of Paul's career is one of those.
Right. There you go. Absolutely. Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, so that's our look at the music and animation collection DVD set. Thank you for joining us, Andy. What do you want to add? Anything before we sign off here?
Subs have gone up on YouTube quite a bit, and we
Yeah.
can now post and go live on YouTube. So that's good. Means we've hit 20,000 hours of view time on our
Mm,
channel. So thank you for that, because now that's an added feature that we have grown for the channel now. So we can, if Tom is at Zia or I'm at a record store and we want to go live, we can do
right.
that on our phones now.
Right.
And that's a thank you to you, the audience, for watching our channel and subscribing and spreading the word, because the growth has really gone up, and we're very
Mm,
happy about that. So thank you.
yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. Well said, partner. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Two Legs Podcast. Make sure you join us on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. It's Wednesday, but now it's Tuesday. I mean, whenever we can do our 101 favorite Mac countdown, we do it. So that's up on our YouTube channel. So that's going to be a YouTube exclusive for now. Later on, it'll eventually get on the audio formats. So we want you to go over to YouTube, type in Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast if you haven't already, and that's where you'll see the video podcast, if you will. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing that. Like Andy said, we're at 750, and the channel's been growing steadily now for the last year, and we're really proud of that. So yeah, so check that out. You can email us at twolegspodcast@gmail.com. We're getting plenty of emails, so keep those coming. We love the comments on the YouTube channel, so keep those coming as well. And we, like Andy said, we really appreciate you guys and gals joining us and participating in these shows. So keep those comments coming. So Andy, good seeing you again, my friend, and we will talk soon.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, my friend. And everybody out there, as always, have a great day and a beautiful night. Take care.